Howdy folks, Little John in the kitchen, knocking up a beer on a Saturday night. This is really different for me. I don't do this too often. The lovely wife has gone out with the girls, so thought I'd take a chance to knock up a quick brew. And this is going to be a quick brew. This is going to be probably the simplest brew I've done for quite a while. What I'm knocking up: Cooper's Cerveza, Mexican Cerveza, straight from the tin. And I'm not going to be venturing too far from just that base kit that goes on. Just a little bit of a change. First thing we'll do, we'll rip them open. Now, get the yeast off. Now we're not going to be using the yeast, as always. We'll get rid of that. Now, the instructions are here on the can. If you're using the can, you can, little peel there, you can peel the label off, which in my experience and watching other people, never happens particularly easily, but it does come off, like so. And on the back there are some instructions there somewhere. It's basically clean and sanitize, mix your contents with some water, blah blah blah. So we'll go through that, but anyway. Now, on the can, Coopers recommend you do this brew with 1 kilogram of Coopers Brew Enhancer 2. Now, I don't have any Brew Enhancer 2 on me, and if I did, I wouldn't be using it anyway. The BE2 is a mix of light dry malt, dextrose and maltodextrin. This is how often I use it. I can't even remember what it is I'm trying to talk about. Yeah, so malt, dextrose and maltodextrin. I don't like to use maltodextrin pretty much across the board. It's something I just do not like. So, but it doesn't work in this. This is a light-bodied beer. Maltodextrin is unfermentable sugar that leaves body in the beer. We don't want that. This is light-bodied, easy-drinking summer beer. So we're getting rid of that. So what I will be using instead: light dry malt, 500 grams, and dextrose. Now I've got about 460 grams here. I'm just going to use all that. So it's still going to be basically pretty close to that kilo that Coopers are saying, but we're just working a little bit differently. And that's going to work quite nicely, I do believe. I will do a little bit of playing with some hops, but what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to get this tin into the sink with some hot water, get it soaking, just let it sit and soften up for about 10 minutes. And while that's happening, I'll go grab my fermenter. It's just finished soaking. I'm going to get it ready to go and get a couple other bits and pieces I need set, and we'll get this together. Rightio. Got everything here we need. Fermenter sanitised, my sanitised spoon is in there. Got my malt, dextrose. I've got 7 1.25 litre bottles of water which have been in the fridge all day, just to help with cooling down. I've got important stuff. I've got a bottle of beer. This is Oktoberfest, delivered to me in person this morning by Matthew Ursak. Cheers Matt, tapped off his keg. Nice Oktoberfest. Fermented. This is from the pack from Cheeky Peak Brewing down there in Albury. And so I thought, why not? Let's get into the stein and get into the groove of some Oktoberfest and German beer while brewing some Mexican beer. So no matter where you're from, Prost. Oh, that's not bad. That's quite nice. Good job, mate. Anyway, not here to drink beer. Not entirely, anyway. So, I've got myself 1 cup of water there, boiled and cooled, and this is for my rehydration of my yeast. So we'll get that happening while we're getting everything else going on. So we're using 2 packs of US-05. We'll pop that straight in there. Rid of the rubbish. And we'll just get a bit of foil. And just gently cover that while we're stuffing around. Teaspoon in there. And it's all good. I've only just unpacked the dishwasher before I started, so spoons and stuff have just come out of there. So they're all clean and sanitary. Got a mug here. Now, this is a step that I very rarely do, but you see this recommended quite a lot with kit beers. If you're going out and you're buying your canned beer from your brew shop, they'll quite often have recipe sheets, so you can make up all sorts of different beers and things, and they quite often have a basic hopping method, which is using tea bags and just doing a small steep, making a hop tea. Now, I don't encourage anybody to ever use those little tea bags from a brew shop. They're overpriced, and generally, in my experience, they don't generally store them very well. But if you want to use them in your brew shop, keeps them in a fridge, stores them alright, go for your life. It does work a little bit. So they're normally a 12 gram pack, and you see suggesting to use 1 or 2 of those in a brew. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a small hop tea, a little bit of hops, just add a little bit of extra interest to this brew. Now I'm not going to do a lot, so I'm sticking with basically just that cup of boiled water. It's just off the boil, and I'm going to put into that, I'm going to go for, I'm going to give a bit of citra. I've got a little bit of lemon naughty floating around as well, which I've used in the video back in just an experimental sort of beer, and it had a bit of a lemony pudding type feel. And I did comment at the time that I thought it would probably work pretty well with a bit of the Cerveza, so we're going to go with that. And I find the citra lends a nice little citrusy note as well, both which go nice with the light body of the Cerveza. So I'm going to go about 7 grams of the lemon naughty, and about the same again of the citra. I've actually ended up with 8 grams there of the lemon naughty. And we'll go 8 of the citra as well. So it's only a small amount, not a lot, and that just goes, boom, into the cup, into the mug, and I'll set that aside and we'll just let that steep away while we're getting the rest of this on. So, simple process now getting things together. Get the can out. Now it's been sitting in the hot water, so pop him out and open him up. Now, I've always found it's easier to open these kit cans if you open them from the bottom, not the top. I don't exactly know why, but that's just something I've found over the years. So that works there. Okay, so straight in with our tin, and that's nice and runny because it's been sitting in that hot water now for about 10 minutes or so. And we scrape it all in. And you can see there's a little bit left in there, so let's get a... Normally I'd have a full jug to fill it up, but I've used the boiling water for the hops, and I didn't actually fill the jug up, so I'll just get as much as I can in there. It's about a third of it in. And we'll just mix that around, get all this out. And the tea towel's sitting here to help me pick this can up once I've done this, because it's going to be mighty hot. We get that out of there. Into the fermenter. At this point, making sure our tap is closed. We can start to give that a bit of a mix. We'll get a little bit extra water in there to start mixing this up. Now this is where the bottles of water come from. Helps to get that boiling water down to a pitching temp quickly. So we'll put the first one in. Give this a bit more of a mix. You mix this while it's nice and hot. That will get all your extract off the bottom of the fermenter, so it doesn't stick and carry on. Now, it doesn't really matter if it is stuck on the bottom, because the yeast will get to it and eat it during the fermentation. But if you can get it dissolved in there better, you'll get a more accurate gravity reading when you first take it. So, dry malt, just straight in, dump it straight in there. Now it will tend to want to clump up a little bit, which isn't a real problem. It'll, same thing as the extract, it will break down as it goes, but if you get it in there while that's warm, it breaks up pretty easily. And we'll toss our dextrose in as well. Boom. Easy. And we'll get another bottle of water in there. Now if you're using these bottles, good idea, give it a bit extra splashing around while you go. It'll bring some air into the brew. A bit of oxygen, which you're going to need for the yeast to start doing its thing. And yeah, mixing as you go will help to do that as well. So now we'll just top this up to 23 litres, which I've got marked on here. Even with the splashing of the bottles with your water, you still want to give it a good splash around while you're mixing. Your yeast really does want a good whack of oxygen so it gets a healthy start. Okay, so I'm just under the 23 litre mark there. I've got water absolutely every bloody where. But water never hurt anybody. Oh, let's just breathe it in. Anyway, so got our pretty much our 23 litres. We've got our little hot tea. Now the only advantage you got to this, if you do actually get in the tea bag, is that you can take the tea bag out. But for this small amount of hops, I'm happy for it to go in the brew. Bang, and it's going to get straight in. Oh, those hops smell bloody nice. So I said, it's going to give a nice note, like, and more a nose than anything else, just a tiny little bit of flavour in the end. You know, 15, 16 grams of hops, not going to do a real lot, but it's just a little bit, just a bit more than the basic. So that's good to go. I'm going to give this 10 minutes for the yeast to finish rehydrating. While that's going on, I'll go and get me hydrometer, and we'll get a reading and see what we're looking at. Okay, so we'll get our hydro sample, see what our starting gravity is. Now, it's a good idea when you're doing kits to just take a little bit off to clear the tap. I don't know how well that'll show up, but you get stuff caught up in the tap when you're first mixing, and that'll throw out your reading. So you quite often see see people asking, why is my gravity 1070 or 1060? I've only used a can and a bloody kilo of sugar. It's because you haven't cleared the tap properly, or you haven't mixed effectively. We'll get that in there, see what we're looking at. And yeast is good to go. See, now she's starting to bubble up, get all nice and frothy. That's a good sign that's rehydrated nicely. And boom, in she goes. And I've said it before, I'll say it again, always rehydrate your yeast. Yeah, it's simple. Yeah, in the time it took me to do the brew, the yeast was rehydrated, and your beer is going to be better for it. Go back and watch the videos if you need a bit of proof. Okay, so that's sitting there at, looks to be 1040. Yeah, let's call that pretty much bang on 1040, and that's pretty much where I was looking to be. I'm hoping for this just to be around that in the low 4% mark. 1040, it should drop to around 10, around 1010 final gravity. 30-point drop. That's good enough for 4%. Plus carbonation, so for me about 4.3% in the bottle, or 4% if it goes to keg. So pretty pleased with that, and that's sort of the mark you should be sort of aiming for with your kits. Obviously, if you wanted to make that a little bit stronger, throw a little bit more malt in, a little bit more Dex. I do normally say like 1 kilo of malt and 200 or 300 grams of Dex for a kit beer. That gets you into the higher end of the fours. But this, I said, this is designed to be a summer beer, nice and easy. Drink a few of them, so you don't want it strong, want it nice and on the lighter end. Tastes what you'd expect it to taste like. Not overly sweet because there's not a huge amount of simple sugars in there. You can't really taste that hop at all, which I wouldn't expect to. So that's it. Cooper's Mexican Cerveza with just a little bit of hop thrown in. Simple, easy, no time at all, bunged up. So I'm going to ferment this one at 15 degrees. For a couple of weeks. You bottle them up and we'll come back, we'll probably give this one 6 weeks in the bottle before I crack a tester on, so it's going to be a while before we do a taste on this one. But it is definitely a beer that benefits from a wet ice, and the Cerveza needs 9 weeks after it's carbonated. So we'll see where we go. So that's me, Little John, for the day. So if you're enjoying what we're doing, if you're learning stuff, maybe consider jumping over on becoming a patron. Jump on Patreon and have a look. There's a link down the bottom if you want. No pressure. As always, if you've got any questions, any comments, stick them down the bottom. I'll happily answer them. I'll take any criticism, no problem at all. If you haven't subscribed to Little John, hit the button down there in the corner. Link up, get notified when we're making beer, when we're doing things. But for now, Cerveza done, Little John done. So, till I see you again, we're drinking beer, we're talking beer, we're brewing beer. Good brewing.